Hi, the Smite bonus update for the Love and War patch was announced, and there are quite a few balance changes in this one. Not crazy large amount, but especially competitive focused one, so I wanted to take a quick look at it. First, we have a few skins though. We have an Anubis skin here, looks pretty cool. We have a Ymir skin, then we have a Fenrir skin, that's my favorite of the bunch, and a Huyi skin. Very edgy this patch. The first two are in the Odyssey event, then the Fenrir skin is in the Lifeform chest, and the Huyi skin is in the Frostbite chest. There were some issues with Fabulous Hoops, Manticore Spikes, and Griffin Wing earrings losing their stats in game sometimes. That's fixed. And Cthulhu's name in the Spanish client. There is one item that gets targeted this patch, and that's Manticore Spike. This isn't all too surprising. The item simply had insane stat bloat in terms of raw benefits that you get from it. So all of those raw stats that they just completely overbuffed at once are now getting nerfed again. Surprise, surprise. This is the magical and physical protection both going down from 40 to 35, and the health going down from 350 to 300. This item actually ended up being, as far as I'm aware, more used in solo than in support, which I guess it's kind of intended for anyways, but the reason why it annoyed me personally was because a lot of support players started picking it up as first item when they didn't want to play support, so they were just like, oh, I'm a damage support, I don't actually need support items, I just have a ridiculous amount of defense. So that's probably not going to change after this nerf, I think, but maybe, who knows. I think this nerf is warranted considering the item was really not picked up for its passive for the most part, but rather just because it has all the stats for relatively cheap. I think that technically Fabulous Hoops suffers from the same problem as well. Difference being that Fabulous Hoops in itself is more of a niche item, and it's more geared towards magical defense. And there are just less characters using it in the first place, so it would never be as omnipresent as Manticore Spike because you have to have a heal that you can use in order to use it effectively. So we'll see if that gets nerfed in the future as well. I wouldn't be entirely surprised. The first guard to be nerfed here is Lancelot. And again, this is very much a competitive thing. He gets nerfed because of his performance during the Summer Masters SPL event. So his first nerf here is to Piercing Thrust, decreasing the base damage from 50 to 210 to 40 to 200. And the second nerf is to Skill Strikes, decreasing the shield damage from 50 to 170 to 40 to 160, and the lance damage from 70 to 230 to 60 to 220. I think these nerfs won't be felt overly much. It's just like 10 off here, 10 off there, basically. So I'm pretty sure that even after this, Lancelot will very much be fine. Cupid also gets some nerfs because of Lan. In his case, the hard bomb damage is decreased to minions specifically from 60 to 55% on both the initial hit and explosion. And along with that, Fields of Love also gets a nerf, decreasing the base damage from 220 to 540 to 200 to 520. This scaling, like this damage nerf on the hard bomb seems oddly specific, a 5% reduction. So I'm guessing this is just enough to not fully clear the archers or the front minions on a particular power spike. Like that's the only explanation that I would have for this being exactly 5%. Otherwise, I would think they would like do 10% or something. But yeah, along with that, the old nerf, something that also won't be felt crazy much. It's like, yeah, I think on early ranks, the 20 damage will hurt a little bit, but generally across the game, shouldn't be a problem for Cupid. So yeah, more of the very specific competitive nerfs that you probably won't notice much as, the average player. Nemesis, however, a bit of a different story. So she's getting a nerf to Slice and Dice, increasing the cooldown from 11 to 12 seconds. And along with that, her ultimate gets a nerf, decreasing the damage from 20 to 30% to now 15 to 25% of the current HP of the target. That, I think, will very much be noticeable, especially on the early ranks, when you're basically losing 25% of the total damage. And yeah, I think this is going to be rough. Like, Nemesis is a character that is so heavily built around her ultimate, so any significant nerfs to that are always pretty noticeable. It's kind of funny because there used to be a time when Nemesis Ult in general was a completely different beast from what it is now. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm the biggest fan of this one, and I feel like she could be adjusted in other ways. I do think that when you make a character an ult bot, then the ult needs to feel powerful. Like, she's not quite an ult bot, like not Hun Bat's levels of ult bot, but the ult is really still what her team fighting especially revolves around. So yeah, not the biggest fan of this nerf, but we'll see how it feels in the long run. Iset has been pretty present for a while, I would say, all across the battlefield, in different roles even, and she's getting some nerfs, and the first one here is to Dispel Magic, and this is decrease the shield health from 50 to 270 to 50 to 250, and decrease the bonus shield amount per enemy hit from 40 to 80% to 30 to 60%. This is exactly what I was talking about a while ago. She got a nerf not too long ago in 9.7, and that was to her magical protection reduction that she had on enemies, I think. And I thought that was a little strange. I thought that just going for the shield and lowering her utility a little bit that way would be the much more effective, straightforward path. And well, now they're taking that path. So I'm glad they're doing it now. I don't know why they didn't do it first, to be honest. The other nerf was very, very weird because it happened twice even. It happened in 9.5 as well. And now they're kind of like, okay, actually, maybe that part is also a problem, but maybe this part might actually be a problem too. Let's actually take on the shield. And then Circle of Protection also gets a nerf, decreasing the max charge damage and healing from 2.5 to 3.5 to now 2 to 3 times maximum. So that is, I think, something that has been untouched for basically forever. I'm not sure if there was ever an increase to this maximum possible charge, maximum possible scaling. So this is like something that feels a bit out of nowhere. Like, not out of nowhere, obviously Iset is very strong. It just feels that this part of the kit was okay for so long, this particular unique aspect, but now they don't consider it okay anymore, which I think is interesting. I don't disagree. I just think it's interesting. Well, I don't know. Like, I think it's fine. I think Iset needed nerfs anyway, so I'm fine with these nerfs being the ones that happen. And I also do think that like 3.5 times the maximum was always a bit insane when you think about it. So it's understandable, but it does make me wonder why they're deciding to do that now after so many years. Then we have Amusen Cub, who was apparently performing extremely well in the mid lane. And in his case, he gets a nerf to Swarm, decreasing the base damage from 60 to 260 to 60 to 240. So the first rank is untouched. High ranks are touched. And the scaling gets nerfed along with that. So that's going to hit late game a little bit as well, from 75% to 70%. So mainly just leveling this up gives you a little less. And in late game, it does slightly less. Slightly, ever so slightly. And Stinger has its physical power scaling reduced from 100% to 90%. Overall, again, nerfs that I think, yeah, noticeable on high levels of play probably, but for the average player, this won't really make much of a difference. Then we have some new skin voice actors, and that is it for this patch. If you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing and clicking the bell if you want to see more. Also, I know some of you never get notified of that stuff. I have been uploading New World videos, and I've been uploading a Multiverses video. I'll upload a few more in the next days. So if you want to check those out, you have to click on the channel, or you have to turn on the notification, all notifications or whatever. Just letting you know, in case you care, so that if the algorithm decides not to show you, you have a way of knowing. With that, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you for the next one soon. Duke Sloth, out.